With authority. There we go. How's that? Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. We will call this meeting to order. Verification that the meeting was posted. Attendance roll call.
Kevin?
Is he still with us?
Yeah, he's here. Chris?
Here.
Bob?
Here.
I'm here. Lori?
Here.
Tracy?
Here.
Terry is absent.
All right. Sounds good. We will then go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Chris, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Moving to approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, moving to recognitions.
All right. Well, unless you were living in a hole or something the past several weeks, you were probably absolutely enamored by what our Warriors have accomplished. I've had several different professional opportunities to get together with superintendents from around the state since summer started, and the number of people who came up to me and said, gosh, it must be nice to win all the time. And I'm like, kind of one of those things where you feel a little bit embarrassed, but then I was like, you know what, it does feel really nice to win all the time. But what you need to understand, that winning doesn't come easy. And there are a lot of people in the world who say they want to win, and there are a lot of people who say they want to be a champion. What separates people in the world are those who are willing to do the work to actually become a champion. Because it's easy to talk the talk, it's a whole nother thing to walk the walk and earn the right and the privilege it is to be a champion. And what fills me with the most pride about this opportunity to recognize everyone that we're going to get to recognize tonight are the countless times I've seen you in that weight room absolutely grinding it. The time I've seen you out on this field in those 100-degree days working your tails off. The times when I've heard from your parents that you're loading up into a car to drive down to X, Y, or Z for a tournament, or there's a camp this weekend. The work ethic that you guys have demonstrated throughout this journey in each person who's here to represent your sport is the exact stuff that being a Warrior is made of. Winning isn't easy. Yes, it's nice, but it's not easy. And the reason there are so few great championship type programs are because not enough people are willing to do the hard work to make that happen. So please know, on behalf of our entire community, how much you fill our hearts with pride in the way you represent us. So our first recipients that we're going to bring up are going to be our baseball state champions. If you didn't get a chance to tune into these games, you talk about an incredible 3 nights of journeying up to a beautiful facilities and things you almost can't even script. I'll be honest, I was like, that final championship game, watching the way you guys battled, the way you guys continued to find a way to make things happen, the way you believed in one another and cheered things on, and just the way the game ended, the walk-off hit and all of that. Those to me are memories of a lifetime where one day you're going to be old, hopefully not as bald as I am, but you're going to be talking about these stories, what it meant to be there with your friends and your teammates and the things you accomplished together. I know you're going to go off and do far greater things than what that event was, but I hope that's a foundation and a reminder to you of what happens when you work really hard, you hold yourself to high standards, and you work for something that really means something to you. So if we could have our baseball team please step forward.
Actually, we're just going to have the coach.
Well, we were going to do ours first, and then we'll get yours. Yep. Sorry. Baseball players, if you want to come on up where we have a certificate on behalf of our school board. Who brought him here?
Do I gotta play bouncers or something?
You may have to. If we could keep the riffraff down in the back. Girls soccer team, if you guys could watch that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, yep. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna read this first one, okay? They all say the same thing, but I'm gonna read this first one all the way through, and then after that, I'll call out your names, and then if you could come up and get your certificate, that would be great. Forgive me ahead of time. If I screw up your name, I will do the best I can. Feel free to correct me. All right, Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Joseph Shaw for his contribution to the Muskego High School baseball team, achieving the exceptionally high honor of placing first in the 2025 WIAA Division I Baseball State Tournament, presented at Muskego, Wisconsin, this 14th day of July 2025, and signed by the board. Joey.
Congratulations, sir.
Aiden Miller. Aiden. Ty Glish. Cooper Wendt. Dean Stodaker, not here? Okay. Mason Horn. Not here, all right. Tyler Gress. Tyler's not here either. Maddox Lassard. Cruz Ramirez. Jack Schutte. Jackson Neenek. Aiden Perlberg. No, okay. Dylan Jeske. He's not here either. All right, Jacob Cardelis. Andrew Rowland. Not here. Ben Kuglich. Carter Nicolato. Tyson Grulkowski. Manuel Hubble. Okay. Callan Tomzik. One's not here either. All right, Kyle Rogozinski. And that's it.
You guys want to finish the picture real quick, and then we're going to give the opportunity for our coaches to say a word, and then we have a special guest as well for the coaches. So if you guys just want to make your way over this way a little bit. Joey's speech. Oh yeah, oh We'll give Coach Page the floor if he has anything he wants to say, and then we'll bring up our special guests as well. He's like, thanks.
Just on behalf of the Muskego Baseball Program, I want to thank the board, first of all, for recognizing us tonight. Of course, thank the community for all the support, not just throughout the season, but through our off-season. And obviously, our facilities are second to none, and that starts with all the support with the within the community. Obviously, thank the players for their hard work that you touched on perfectly of year-round training and things like that. So I'm just very grateful and thankful to be able to work with a group like this, and I thank the parents that are here as well. I know that's a huge commitment from you as well. So thank you again for recognizing us, and we greatly appreciate it.
Step here for just a second. We have some special guests here with another award.
I'll have Senator Bradley read it. I didn't bring my glasses.
Let's skip to the great part here. Therefore, so this is an official citation from the state of Wisconsin recognizing the group for their awesome achievement of becoming state champions. And just real quick, it gives us a lot of bragging rights in the Capitol. So we love getting to do this. Thank you guys. It's pretty awesome to be able to do this. And this essentially says, be it resolved that State Senator Julian Bradley and State Representative Chuck Wickers do commend and congratulate the Muskego High School Warriors baseball team on their victory in the 2025 WIAA Division I State Baseball Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Quick photo.
Bob, get in.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Coach.
All right, our next,
These are coaches.
oh yeah,
Because we have, we actually have certificates for the coaches of the baseball team as well, so if we could have you guys come up. All right, same drill. I'm gonna read it, and then they say the same. So, Certificate of Appreciation, the Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of the Muskego High School varsity baseball head coach, Jacob Page, for his exceptional dedication, leadership, and commitment to excellence. Under his guidance, the Muskego High School baseball team achieved an outstanding season, earning first place at the 2025 WIAA Division I Baseball State Championship, presented at Muskego, Wisconsin, this 14th day of July 2025, and signed by the board. And the rest, I believe, say the same thing except assistant coaches. So Kyle Pakowitz. Yep. Josh, is it Breeder? Breeder. Paul Dooley. Cal Krafchuk.
thank you guys. Again, I talk a lot about the importance of role models in life, and truly are grateful for what our coaching staffs give to our student athletes, the role models they are for our young adults. And we're going to kind of transition that conversation around being role models, because sometimes as high school athletes, you lose sight of the impact you have on our future warriors. The number of times, whether it was at the state baseball game or the state soccer game, some of my highlights were watching our young kids at those events getting so fired up and excited about you guys, and watching you guys interact with our young kids, whether it's the youth events, like the girls soccer youth event, we got the little ones out there playing the game, other than the time where I thought some poor little kid got knocked concussed, but that's okay, those things happen too, it toughens them up. But genuinely, you guys are role models far beyond what you realize. The way you conduct yourself on the field, not just during the good times and the times of celebration, but when things aren't going well. How those kids watch you, they watch the way you react when there's not a great call or there's a very physical play. Trust me, you guys made a huge lasting impact on generations of warriors to come on both sides, and then with our track athlete as well. So I just want to say thank you. I wore this shirt in particular because it's one of my favorite. Our Women of Will Club is something that strives to help young females understand the impact you can have in the world. And I know I'm biased as a dad of daughters. Sometimes I feel like the world lacks as many strong female athletes as there can be. And what makes me proud is when we talk about your success, not just on the field, but in our classrooms and in our hallways, the way you mentor young other students. Please know how much that is noticed and the impact it makes in our system. So really, really proud of you guys. Yes, winning state titles is also pretty cool, and I have goosebumps thinking this is the 4th time there's like a path worn out from our soccer team coming up for these things. The success of that is just insane. So many people can't even comprehend that. Most people are lucky to have one happen in the time that they've been a part of a school system. To our seniors who are walking across that stage, which, by the way, we did change some transcripts, so I apologize. Some of you didn't graduate and you're coming back one more year. Sorry, Claire. Accident. Oh, just kidding. But thank you for that impact. So if our girls soccer program wouldn't mind coming forward, we have certificates for you as well to recognize the incredible accomplishments that you guys continue to do.
All right, I'm going to read the certificate and then your names afterwards. So, Certificate of Appreciation, the Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Savannah Middlestead for her contribution to the Muskego High School girls soccer team, achieving the exceptionally high honor of placing first for the 4th consecutive title in the 2025 WIA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament. Presented at Muskego, Wisconsin, this 14th day of July 2025, and signed by the board. Abby Artlett. Congratulations. Elsa Maurer. Congratulations. No, yep. Ella Kenzora. Josie Kenzora. Nina Hutchins. Nina not here? Okay. Excuse me. Riley Krupa. Congratulations. Bella Middlestead. Congratulations. Jessica Furnell. Right. Elena Spader. Not here either. All right. Mia Bailey. Congratulations. Kelsey Morgan. Congratulations. Taylor Collins. Okay. Ashlyn Shar. Scaife, Bree Scaife. Not here. Clara Mensch. Congratulations, you bet. Autumn Dibb. Autumn's not here either. Sadie Middlestead. Congratulations. Lauren Schindler. Congratulations. Olivia Rozeski. All right.
She's not here
She's not gonna help it. Reese isn't here either. Okay.
I don't know. She's not. That girl's not there.
Melena's not here. How about Caitlin? Yeah. Caitlin, congratulations. Nora Augustine. Congratulations. Madeline Doherty.
All right, we could have coaches come on up.
All right, coaches. Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego and Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Muskego High School varsity girls head coach Lance Matthews for his exceptional dedication, leadership, and commitment to excellence. Under his guidance, the Muskego High School girls soccer team achieved an outstanding season, earning first place at the 2025 WIA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament, presented at Muskego, Wisconsin, this 14th day of July 2025, and signed by the board. Assistant coach, Ben Huey. Stephen Kearns. Courtney Lucchese. Not here. Kate Brandstetter. Katie Schauer. Congratulations. And Hannah Schneider. Not here.
So if we could get a quick picture with all the girls and coaches, and then we're going to allow the athletes to sit down. We'll get our representatives to present Mr. Matthews with their award. So quick picture. You guys are good at these. I know you've done it once or twice. It's not nearly as hot as the game was. Come on.
taking the photos. Yo, bro, now with the covers.
Everybody ready? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Warriors.
Did you do that? Yeah, mine's water.
All right, well, again, we're Senator Bradley, if you wouldn't mind joining us. Good to see you. Congratulations.
So again, this is a citation, again, one that you don't have to pay for, right? This isn't like a ticket. We are excited. You want to talk about bragging rights? So Chuck and I were just talking because this is the 4th year in a row we've gotten to do this. And I think I'm the only member of the Senate that can say he's been here. He has a state champion for all 4 years of his term. And I just got reelected, so 4 more years for all of you guys. So we can do 4 more of these.
They don't plan on losing, so I think that's fair.
And so what we have here, therefore be it resolved that State Senator Julian Bradley and State Representative Chuck Wickers do hereby congratulate the Muskego High School Warriors girls soccer team on their historic 2025 WIAA Division I Girls State Soccer Championship, their 4th consecutive championship, and their remarkable legacy. Congratulations. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, of course.
All right. Again, as I said, this was an incredible spring. Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you, guys. If there's a person who does not like public attention, it is this wonderful gentleman, so it is a privilege to give him the floor for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Page said it really well. Just a lot of gratitude for the community and the people that surround the building here. I mean, the staff at the high school, our administration, the support that we have from everybody just is what makes great teams able to compete and do their thing. Just a tremendous sense of pride for these girls and all that they've accomplished. It's humbling every opportunity we get to be together. As coaches, we're just really grateful to be out there and to have like my daughter be a part of the program and get to hang out. Like Mr. Irvine said, they're great role models in and out of the classroom. It's just, yeah, an incredible journey, a lot to be grateful for, and appreciate everything that everybody in here has done to help support it. So,
Thank you, Coach. And I know I'm biased. It's incredible to have such great role models in all these different aspects. So, and again, you can't have a strong program without great leadership around it. So to everyone, the time you give away from your families in support of our student athletes is truly appreciated. I hope you understand the difference you make in the lives of a lot of aspiring young adults. I know these are all better people because of your leadership and the role models that you provide. So one more opportunity to recognize another state champion who again is not new to this floor. Ella, if you wouldn't mind coming up. Again, I have a little bit of a bias from having been a track athlete back in my day. I love the state track and field meet. It is just a really special place to compete. Oftentimes if you go to a track meet, you don't have a lot of spectators at it. And then you go up to lacrosse and the state meet, you have roughly 10 to 15,000 people cheering you on. And it's just an electric environment because everyone there is really a fan of the sport. So when you get to an event like the 2 mile where in your average meet, it's at the end of the meet, everyone's tired. A lot of times it's dark and cold and you've been frozen all day long and there's not many people there. And you get to the state meet and it's just packed, the entire thing. And then you watch a race develop and you see this incredible athlete who is one of the most humble, kind, caring people you'll ever meet. If you run into her in the hallway, you'll see this wonderful, sweet, innocent smile. She's so kind and thoughtful. And then this switch goes when you step on the track and this competitive warrior comes out where I don't know who would want to race against you because you just refuse to lose. So this great race is happening. The crowd's going bananas. I happen to be at the fence along with some families that were from the school that was also in second place, kind of competing with them. They're like, she's gonna do it, she's gonna do it. And they're going bonkers, and I'm kind of sitting here like, she's not gonna do it. It's really gonna hurt her feelings in a little bit, just wait. And they're going bananas, and the gun goes off in the last lap. And it's like, whoosh, she takes off like a rocket. I have no idea what your last split was, but how impressive the move you made was. It absolutely broke the spirit of this other wonderful young athlete who I'm proud of as well. However, the decisiveness of that decision and the confidence, again, of something that wasn't, you won that race that day, but you won that race. Every time I'm leaving, I'm seeing you running in the downpour, in the blizzard, or you're in the scorching heat. You're going back and forth doing your repeats. Your work ethic truly earned that championship, which is the 5th one, am I right? Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5th state championship, which is truly incredible. Thank you for being an incredible role model on the track, on the cross-country course, and also in the classrooms. I don't talk enough about their student academic achievements, but the number of students that are seated here today that are leaders in our AP classes, incredible ACT scores, have countless college opportunities because of what you do in our classrooms as well. Thank you for making the narrative. To be a student athlete in Muskego, you are a student first, and you're a role model in those classrooms and on the field. So thank you all.
All right. We have a certificate of appreciation. The Muskego and Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Ella Anschutz for her contribution to the Muskego High School girls track and field team, achieving the exceptionally high honor of placing first in the 2025 WIA Division I Girls 3,200 meter run track and field state championship. Presented at Muskego, Wisconsin, this 14th day of July 2025 and signed by the board. Congratulations.
So unfortunately, we're out of state champions to recognize. I mean, hopefully we can do more next spring. I mean, there's at least one other sport maybe we'll get one for. But huge shout out for all you're doing. Look forward to cheering you on in your senior year. So thank you.
Don't forget a picture.
Pics. Thank you. Did you get it all right?
Not good. And that's
now I threw us out of rhythm.
That's coming from me, so it's not really.
Thank you. Congratulations. And you guys are unleashed into the free world because it's 800 degrees in here. Thank you for coming in. I know there's a lot of other great things to do in the summer, so thank you. Have a great rest of your day. You're welcome to stay too if you want to learn more about board meetings.
It's great. No, that's okay. It's we will call off just for a second. For the let everybody know.
Good job, Joey.
Oh, no, he was here before for the Jason's meeting. Yeah, but then that's it. Okay. All right. Well, moving on to the next public comment. We don't have anyone signed up left that was here. Noah was here, but he left, so he's the only one who signed up. So we will move on to consent agenda. Can I please get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Second?
Kevin motion and second? Sure, second.
So Kevin was first and Lori was second? Okay. Does anybody need anything, or discussion? Is there anybody that needs anything removed for separate discussion on consent agenda? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, passes. Superintendent's report.
All right, it is my pleasure first to begin with welcoming Ms. Arts into her first official board meeting as our new assistant superintendent. I will just speak to my 10 years within the system working with her. She was one who early on when I first started, I was absolutely just inspired by her leadership, your commitment to our students and our staff, and the way you navigate good situations, but even more so those difficult situations, the way your care shines through. You're going to be truly an asset to our students and families in this role, so thank you for stepping in. All right, our next opportunity is going to be welcoming Mr. Ryan McMillan to the board for our activities report to the board, our annual report.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, appreciate it. I know every athletic and activities director doesn't always get to speak at the school board, so thanks for having me here tonight. Even though it is the summer and there's a lot of other things we'd like to be doing, this is going to be even better, so here we go. Great night. I think it coincides with the group we just had here, so very fortunate to have that as well. But as I get going here, again, a lot of things haven't changed in terms of who we are and what we're trying to do and where our mission lies, and trying to be comparable and competitive. In some areas, people are chasing us, but we need to continue to grow because we aren't going to get caught. And so there's things coming down the line, and we're going to keep pushing the pace and never settle, I guess, if you will. But we've done a lot of great things because we have a lot of great people, whether it's a great school board, great staff, great students, great parents, great future coming, great city in collaboration and thinking and trying to work together with some conversations we had tonight. There's a lot of conversations and city partners that are potential coming down the road today, and it will all be positive in the end, and that's great to see. And count your blessings too, because we are in a great community. We really are. This isn't the same. I drive through a lot of different ones all the time, see a lot of different spaces and places, and when we say we want to be the district of choice, there's no doubt in my mind if you do your homework, you're going to choose us. So we're going to continue to improve. It's going to be good, but let's highlight some fun as we get going here. First of all, our why. Again, we know through the last strategic planning survey, our community's highest responses were athletics and activities, and all of our co-curriculars that we provide, and we get the emotions out of people, I feel like. So in good ways, more good than bad, and it's a lot of fun. But you saw this in our referendum support, and a lot of our future families and things stepped up and showed up to the polls and kept us working forward. Also, as we take a look at our academic achievement, because really we're co-curriculars. This is an add-on to the school day in partnership and trying to help grow what happens during those school hours from 7 to 3 at the high school. And I think we're helping with that as we take a look at the data. And Mr. Bavlinka always makes fun of me because I talk about, you get in co-curriculars, you get smarter. And it's real. It's all there. Like, you can't argue it. So just keep doing sports and activities, or the play, or FBLA, or whatever your heartstring connects with, and your academics will improve. But I can tell you, standing here with this, if I wasn't connected to one of the activities in my schooling, I wouldn't be here tonight. I guarantee you I wouldn't be here tonight. That was my why for coming to school. And school worked out and everything's great, and you keep going down the journey, but it helps grow it. And some of these achievements is what allows kids to qualify for a free schooling that they might not even know, with the combination of rigor in both areas, not only academically, but co-curricularly as well, moving forward. So a lot of good stuff there. The data continues to hold, and hopefully we keep doing a good work of enhancing that school day. To build upon that, helping to enhance our school district and who we are. Some of these graphics you've already seen from our fast facts and who we are as a school district. But I think the co-curricular program jumping out over 70% of, whoops, what did I do?
Hang on. I don't know what happened.
Oh. But anyway, over 70% of our students engaged in our co-curriculars. That is a very healthy number, and that is awesome to see. We, talking with Mr. Bavlinka over the past week here, we still think we can get better. We still think we can push that margin forward, because we know what co-curriculars can do for our academic success, and we'll continue to work at that. The job's not done. It's a great number that a lot of schools are nowhere even close to. So we take a lot of pride in that, but we know we can, there's a couple action steps and things that we keep working on to get better there. But when you start talking about our co-curricular program, and you see this in the front page of the biggest newspaper in southeast Wisconsin, it just catches your, I don't know what this was, but when I read it, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I realized we were one of the 3. I was like, ooh, yeah, all right, we'll take that. This is the United States, let's go. So a lot of good stuff. And again, public perception, and this is coming from families and people that have experienced what we have to offer, and given ourselves A+ in the ratings from the entity that put that together, and what the news picked up. And so very proud of what our students have done, but also very proud of having the #1 overall composite ACT score in Waukesha County. That is a strong statement. So we've beaten you, in the classroom, and now we're going to beat you after school too. That's kind of a lot of fun. So not that we want to beat them, but we're going to compete. Building community, I think the most important thing that we can do from a co-curricular standpoint, we take a lot of pride in this. You just saw 2 teams and an individual come up that helped build our community. Got the future engaged in wanting to be a Warrior and stay in school and show up every day and do those other things. But we also do so much more intentionally outside of the co-curricular programming, and it's more about connecting our community than it is any wins and losses. Winning's fun. We got 2 trophies here. Those are great. But this is what matters on the screen. And bringing, crazy as it sounds, we passed a referendum and nobody ever thought we were going to bring bouncy houses into the deal and allow little kids to run around in the middle of winter. I know Julie loves that, but the biggest problem was keeping the superintendent out of the line and reminding them that this is for the little kids. But a lot of fun with scholar athlete ceremony, having to pivot this year and move indoors, and the families and students did a great job of handling that. Girls lacrosse here in the bottom. 4 years ago, we started with really no youth program. Girls walking into our system that had no experience to now, we got a line of 40 to 50 future Warriors here greeting our high school girls lacrosse as they come out on the field, which is a very new opportunity back then we got going, but also promoting the movie nights and everything else we got going on. Cabaret, bringing people together to hear good music, good food. And then also seeing one of our own, get drafted. There's a lot of pride that comes with that from all the people that have touched this student athlete as he's worked our way not only through our system, but our local university as well. And it's part of who we are and what we want to do. Continuing on that note, when you have student athletes take the mic at their own contest and stand in front of a whole community to spread a message about health and wellness and helping others and creating a better community for other people, phenomenal. You just saw Maddox Lassard walk in this room, who's got every ranking in the baseball world you could ever dream of, and he's sitting down in our elementary schools with students that are looking to get connected and helping out and helping spread good cheer and do those great things out of his own time where he had flexibility in his schedule to be able to do it. Or our Tri-M group giving the poinsettias out, the youth soccer Mr. Ryan talked about in the middle of the game. Or the MAA coming down to our campus for the first time because we got a facility to host their 6 and 7-year-old all-star game, I believe. Yeah. Score was 50-29 or something crazy. So that was a lot of fun last summer. So yeah, it was. We got a good offense coming, so we'll take it. But a lot of fun there, and this is what it's about. And again, our soccer team that you just saw, yes, they won it all and they won 4 in a row, but they also are doing special events for childhood cancer. Our volleyball program's helping Children's Hospital, local hospital, and spreading good cheer with the toy drives and other things. So, yeah, we are in a special place. This doesn't always happen, but this is what the kids and the coaches and the people get excited about. Yeah, we get excited about these things and winning, but this is what drives the ship. So, this is nothing more than, have we experienced some success? Absolutely. Are there good things going on? Yes. It's a byproduct process. And we are not done yet. We are inherently competitive. We are always going to show up and compete. But it's about building community. It's about making better people. It's about extending the academic school day and teaching the life lessons moving forward. And again, record year in a lot of different spaces and places. Girls basketball has never won the Class A conference since we joined. It's been a really long time since we've had a conference title in that world, and they kicked that door in. Obviously, you met Ella today with her state championships, Carter as well. And then obviously our soccer program, they got 4 in a row. I think everyone started talking about as soon as they won the 4th, now what's next? Well, there are some schools and programs out there that won 5, so they immediately flipped the page, and here we go again. So they're chasing. And then boys baseball. And I think one thing I wanted to highlight here from a board perspective, you don't always know the impact that you're making when you're making decisions, but I believe, and Jeremiah, you can help me here, was it 3 years ago that we put in turf out in the baseball? So it's 2 years ago. We put in turf, we enhanced our our facility. We also had Booster Club join together and help get dugouts and do some of those things. City partnerships helped us get the lights, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been a lot of different groups helping each other. But the last time our baseball program went to state in one state was when we hosted the sectional on our facility. We had a good enough facility for summer baseball at the time to host the sectional. They won that sectional, they got themselves in the deal, and lightning struck and away they went and won it. This time, again, because of our investment of our school board, we got a facility that's top-notch in the state. We were able to lobby to get the sectional. We got the sectional. When we made the transition to summer to spring, it was very difficult. We were on the road, there was a lot of competition, we were traveling to a lot of different spaces and places. But now because we got what we got, we were able to host at home. The school was able to come out during exam flexibility time. I mean, we had droves of, I don't know, hundreds of people walking out of our buildings to support the baseball team. And because of your support and your investment, our taxpayers and people showing up, it allowed them to have a different platform that other schools don't get to have. And again, we hosted the sectional, they won the sectional, they got in the dance, and then lightning struck again, and away we went and won the deal. So awesome to hear, and that's, you know, that's the purpose of why you always hear us pushing the pace to try to upgrade our facilities and know that it's not just our district, but it's a whole bunch of different partnerships to make those things happen. What else we got here as we keep going, breakthrough year, our robotics program, getting the scholarship and qualifying for the special awards. We also have Jess Furnow, who's Class 8 Player of the Year. She is also State Player of the Year, which you'll see here in a little bit. Neat story about Haley. She didn't know lacrosse until she came here. Picked up a stick, worked hard every day, was kind of a backup, you know, early on in her career. Kept working, got the starter last year. This year she was a State Player of the Year as a goalie. That doesn't happen in the sport of lacrosse because it's all about scoring goals. And she was a rock for us in that and kept us in a lot of things. And girls basketball, obviously sectional champions, football, getting, you know, some of these aren't always just the winning, it's the story behind it, behind Nina or Jess getting hurt with her ACL and coming all the way back to be where she is today, or football experiencing a lot of turbulence, if you will, in the middle of their season and finding a way to band together and keep leading forward and pushing the pace and getting those types of things done. Statewide recognitions, we had a lot of them with Coach of the Year, obviously the Jerry Awards with the musical. I don't know how many know this, but the Green Bay Packers chose our girls to go up and represent the state of flag football where it currently is at one of their games against the Arizona Cardinals. We were one of 3 schools to do that, 4 schools, I mean, total. And also getting recognized for doing things the right way. When you start talking about leadership and ethics and integrity, you know, yes, we are winning, but we are winning the right way. And that we will continue to push on that and continue to grow our people. Sportsmanship up here in the top left-hand corner, again, first time in 28 years. We've never been recognized for that award as a system or a school. It took all of us from a collective effort to get voted on by our opponents, by our neighbors of the Classic 8, and every program together to get voted on to be high enough, to score high enough in the cumulative points to allow us to garner that award. So that's pretty cool too. And Coach Joe Meineke doing great work with our forensics program as well, getting his recognition at the national sports deal and moving things forward. Touching on sportsmanship, again, we are neighbors of Waukesha County. The only thing that separates us from our opponents is a zip code. And understanding at the end of the day it's a game, but and when we get to real life, we're all in this together. This is a greater society, and those that you see on the screen, you know, helped lead us forward in our boys soccer program and some of the Class 8 sportsmanship awards. There's more coming from the spring season that we have not been informed of yet, but with the passing of our commissioner, there's been some things that we're catching up on now. And so excited to see what the next month brings from that end of things. And going to the Classic 8 Leadership Summit, taking our student leaders and some coaches out to Oconomowoc, who hosted it this year, or bringing in public speakers to work with our Athletic Leadership Council at lunch to continue to push our student athletes to be better people and be the people we want them to be versus just winning games. Want to give a shout out to our athletics and arts relationship, Jamie Beckman, Matt Warner, Matt Miller, Jen. helping us out here, whether athletics ever needs a singer or we need a drum line to send. We had a record number of send-offs, I feel like, this year. There are send-offs every other day. Sirens blaring, you're trying to get work done over here. I mean, oh my goodness. But the cool piece is, specifically the drum line showing up at every different venue. They're in the hallway supporting whoever's getting sent off. They're out in the field supporting cross country. They're in the pool. They're in the PAC when we're doing our 8th grade orientation, building community and selling our system. And all the way up to the Rush Center in Green Bay in the middle of winter to support our girls in the football program and everything else. Or our Best Buddies walk on that cold, rainy morning on Saturday morning, I believe, right? And they're out there jamming away, and it makes it just a little bit easier to get out of bed and do those sort of things and help people just create a better tomorrow or a better today, if you will. And so we appreciate them as well. Clubs are rocking as well. We got a lot of good clubs. We're up to 65 programs, and we continue to grow. A couple of highlights here is Ed Rising grew their club. Again, that's Building Future Educators, where they hosted 5 other schools from our area. I know New Berlin, Franklin, and some others came over for a great day of learning. Anything I'm missing there, Andy, on that one? I know they had you be the public speaker. They brought you in. That was a great honor for you. That's cool. Pep band's crushing it. Mamma Mia, what a fun show that was. If you stuck around to the end, I feel like everybody was standing on their feet and dancing along. Some of the innuendos that adults understood what was going on, the kids didn't even know. They're just dancing to great music. So I like that. That was a lot of fun too. Yep. And then just a little shout out to our outdoor club that really is growing under, again, the leadership of Lance Matthews. They were able to win their qualifying section on ice fishing this year and actually made this trip up to state lacrosse. So good stuff's going on. Dan Myron, if you see him, please let him know the great work he did with our robotics program. Unfortunately, he is stepping away to move on to the next chapters of his life as well, but he really did a great job of pushing our program forward and growing that and enhancing everything that we've done, and then qualifying down into Texas twice, one getting a special award to be able to do so. So really excited about everything that's going on in our co-curriculars as well. Pushing that forward and trying to build better people. We don't do it with just our student athletes, but we also do it with our adults. And this year, Courtney led and Anita led this beating burnout at work. And it hit me as this is really valuable. As I dove into the work with our leadership team at the district level, I said our coaches and our activities advisors need this as well, because they're the ones that are grinding some serious hours where they really never leave the classroom. Some of these cats are going from 7 to 7 and sometimes 7 to 9 to 10. So if they got film involved, they're grinding into the wee hours of the night. And understanding what is healthy and what is not, and where to draw the line in that work-life balance, and what is the secret sauce for beating burnout as we get there in our staffs. And we find that it's a great team. If your school board is a great team, when the storm comes, if you will, that team will get through it together much more successfully than an individual standing by themselves or a divided ship trying to sail forward. And speaking of storms, moving forward and helping bring in Mr. Coach Jones to work with our staff and speak at our Scholar Athlete ceremony and talking about the Buffalo running into the storm. We know the storm is coming. We just don't know when it's going to be here, but do we have a strong, cohesive team with all of us together to help us weather the storm and make a better tomorrow after the storm passed and keep going. So obviously our values and our purpose, it's what drives us. It's the reason we do what we do. We don't do it to win trophies. That's not why we're here. We're here to make better people. Yeah. One Warrior Initiative lives on. Obviously our police department has taken this another step forward. Obviously our school district, the superintendent, have taken this now an even further step forward, and I truly believe that we are all in this thing together. And everyone asks, how do you win? Why are you winning? And I just respond with us, and they look back like, what do you mean? I said, us. It's Mosquito. It's all of us. It's every single one of you sitting in this room. It's everyone that was just in this room that walked out, and it's everybody else in our community that continues to feed into this thing and help us be the best we can possibly be. Will we make mistakes? Sure. Will we grow from them? Absolutely. But together we have a bright, bright future, and a very proud past. And that's what I get excited about, and why I get up and get down here every single day to have some fun. So as we talk about the future moving forward, this is kind of where we've been as we've moved through our chapters and moving forward, and what are we continuing to grow on. Bringing Makerspace, which is a new club with our new STEAM wing, up to speed. We piloted it this year. It was very successful in helping push that even further down the pathways, and helping Mr. Roberts, Mr. Dunbar were in those meetings with me as well. We had about 20 different staff members that came together over the last, year and a half-ish meeting to make sure that this is the right match for co-curricular to enhance the curricular. And I think we found the sweet spot, so looking forward to seeing that. And then continuing to build towards our other ambitious goals of facilities and other opportunities that can come down the line. And yeah, it is what it is. Bright, beautiful facility. This is fun. And we didn't come this far to only come this far. We're going to keep going. You might have to tame me down a little bit at times, but we're going to keep working to find the best people, okay, and build the best facilities and invest our community. And hopefully Mr. Irvine spoke on in the committee meeting about how we have become a community center. We weren't always that way. Our doors weren't always open. And I truly do believe if you have perspective and you have lived in other spaces and places in other towns, our school system and our school buildings, and Jeremiah's leadership with his staff and some of the system improvements that we've made, we truly are community centers, and that's what we're here for, is to serve the community. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it, and I look forward to where we're going. Any questions? I said a lot there, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Can you expand on the ice center or ice arena that you have listed from 27 to 20?
Yep, I gotta find us $30 million and I'm gonna build that.
Okay, all right.
So that's my goal.
Just curious about that. And then and I think the idea of the tennis courts being revamped so that people can watch from the center, and that definitely is a goal that I'd like to see. And then thirdly, it would be nice if we could maybe do the same thing that we did for the boys football thing, to have it for the girls soccer thing, so we can display something for them like we did for the for the football on the stadium.
Oh, like the state championship thing?
Yeah,
It's coming with their new scoreboard in about 3 weeks.
Oh, all right
So
then.
they'll have
Okay.
girls and boys on there too.
And then how about, are we thinking at all about building like permanent shelter stuff for them? And-
We have a plan for that. We have
Okay.
to find the funding, yeah.
Okay.
I think we learned of a great solution. Instead of building permanent dugouts, there's another permanent structure that we, who was it, Whitefish Bay maybe? Yeah, I think it was Whitefish Bay. Somebody did a little bit of an upgrade to their facility and caught our eye and said this is very doable. And working with our soccer boosters and things, hopefully we can find a partnership to make that come to life too.
Does a scoreboard gonna have sound off of it too, or?
Still have the sound, but to build on that soccer facility, we do have a master plan to have a permanent structure on the west side that raises the elevation of the seating to 4 foot, much like our softball and football stadiums are. And then we can move sound and game operations over to that side. But we'll continue to work with our donors and find a way to make these things happen and see where their appetite is and what they want to do and how they want to do it.
And I'm happy to see the resurfacing of the track.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
That's
Jeremiah's team and
waiting for
our
the
track
lines to
coaches
go in,
worked
but
very,
that's
very hard
awesome.
on that, and
Yeah.
they were in a good place, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Perfect. Thanks.
You bet.
You may have had it up there, but how many students are in one or two co-curriculars?
1,600, I think it was on the first slide.
Yeah, so that's
16.
almost, that's,
No, so it's 70% of 1,600.
okay, so it's
1150.
70%.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it, and we're gonna keep pushing the pace on that too. And hopefully, one of these days I could show up and we're at 80%, which would be awesome. And maybe we can bring some comparables too to other systems too, that would help with that number as well. So, but yeah, good question.
Maybe it'll draw more people in with the makerspace or the STEAM
Yeah.
trades area that may not necessarily be sports and activity.
Much like we did with, when you say that, it triggers me with esports,
Yeah,
our gaming club. We had 50 students that showed up that The instructor prides himself on knowing almost every kid in our building, and he didn't know those kids. And they were phenomenal for us, and they've been phenomenal, and they compete and they do a great job, and so that's worked out very well for us.
I've used your statistics about the 1 co-curricular and 2 relative to GPA and ACT. I used it for my son, told him he's doing 2 things. Pick them, I don't care what they are, but you're doing 2 things, right?
Absolutely.
And I really truly believe that just makes a more engaged student, right? And a more
100%.
engaged student results in better focus and higher GPA. Do we ever, I'm assuming we do that on freshman orientation day, and we show them that, and if we don't, we should.
Yes.
But is there a way,
Drop line comes in.
can we also make sure that the parents know that? Because oftentimes they need that little boost to say, hey, junior, you need to be in 1 or 2 things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
That we can.
That statistic, I think, is remarkable, and unfortunately, it's shared to us, but I don't know how much further it goes. It should go to everybody.
I sell it pretty hard on that 8th grade orientation night.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
People are giggling at me a little bit, but,
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
You have
just want to make
switch,
sure.
so you're in the auditorium hearing it, and then you go to the football, or the gymnasium and hear it there too.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's-
all right,
we can
excellent.
make a little handout with it though, that might be a good idea, so that when they're leaving, they have something.
Can I add something that I think
Good.
is important? Ryan talks a lot about things that happen behind the scenes that you don't, sorry, I'm Ken Dunbar, one of the associate principals.
Who are you?
Hi, Ken.
Not just Ryan. Anyway,
Never heard of it.
Andy and Brenton and Jessica and I and Ryan see this a lot. You folks don't see it. Kids are involved in clubs and sports. Their advisors and coaches are often key in keeping them on the right track academically. There's a lot of support there. We are well aware of all the conversations when a coach or advisor finds out a kid's struggling in the classroom a little bit, they're on it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that I want to recognize. You talk about all the hours our coaches and advisors put in. That's one of the other things that they do. It helps their kids be successful.
I think that's one of the hidden things in getting kids connected is that it connects them with a mentor that's invested and that they feel invested in. I'm sure you guys have seen it too, a lot of times the student, when they're in trouble, will say, can I be the one to call my coach? And it's like, that speaks to the power of that relationship, and Ryan is great at using this when he's teaching and working with the staff. It gives the coaches a platform with which to develop people and make sure that it's not just about sport, but it's about learning the person. It's pretty powerful.
Well,
Thanks, Ken, who's also a staff member.
The thing that I like to see also is the alumni coming back and getting involved. Because I know Mr. DeClapper, he'll love that I called him doctor, reached out to my son Zach to talk to the class about like his job at the DOT and what he, like, it's kind of cool that you're and I know you mentioned when you saw Matthew doing the firefighting, talking to the little kids. It's kind of awesome when you get that. They're coming back and they want to still contribute.
Full circle
Which is
experience,
awesome, yeah.
makes us stronger. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Next up, the wonderful hard transition to our mid-year update on our efforts for a drug-free environment. So,
I think Andy's gonna lead it off, but I just wanna say, like,
More of a two-hitter.
I feel like we're following Jerry Seinfeld. It was all fun, fun, fun. We're gonna talk about the struggle.
Yeah, I don't really have a fun intro, but I did want, on a serious note, I did want to intro into this with a thank you to all of you. I think that this is one of the things when I first started here, things different than the district I had worked in previously. And I think that this district has always been very proactive, and I think it's been a big leadership push from starting at the school board through the superintendent, through us, ultimately in buildings, to do everything we can to make sure our kids are making big decisions, that they're making informed decisions, and then most importantly, they're safe. I think sometimes kids live in a moment where they make decisions, but they don't necessarily think 2, 3, 4 weeks, months, years down the line. And I think the drug-free environment focus that we do is really important. So thank you for the support through it. I know that every year that I've been here, part of what you ask at the end, I'm expecting at some point, is what can we do to continue to support you? Because I think that the all-in approach that Ryan talked with co-curricular is also extended to this. I think might need somebody to cloak here. Oh, this thing? Oh, let's do it. This is the training. All right.
Yeah, so I also want to say thank you to the board. I also want to say thank you to our PD with our partnership. So canine searches, it has been something that we've had. And if you actually look at this year, our ability to actually have a little bit more of a greater frequency, like especially in the building, because we had Canine Tito in the building. I know that is a partnership with our school board and our school and our PD. It really made it efficient. So this year we did 10 searches in partnership with our PD. 3 outdoor parking lot searches. We had 3 indications. We have 0 evidence, which if you look at both our indoor and outdoor, we had 0 evidence was found. Our 7 indoor searches, typically 6 to 8 classrooms, and then we're also rotating through different locker rooms. So that it was something that we weren't really doing before. It was like, wait a minute, it could be, things could be in there. So we wanted to utilize the time when it came to not only the bathrooms, which we did do, but let's get down to our locker rooms and search those. So it really made it easier. So you're having Canine Tito in the building. It made it much less invasive, really, because you have a dog that is already in the building that has been seen. Of course, then when the kids do get a peek of them, they're like, oh, they're Tito, right? So it's like one of those things where, no, Tito's got a job to do. We got to go do some work now. So great thing to see, though. If we go to the next slide, Mr. Bavlinka. So if you look at our trend, I think this is really important for us to see. We just talked about all the great things that we do in athletic activities. Well, we have things that we can say this is awesome as well. If we look at our indications have gone down. And obviously the last 2 years we've had 0 evidence during those searches. So that is phenomenal. Knowing that we are keeping stuff out of our buildings and out of our parking lots. Any questions on that? Okay, so we'll go on to the next slide. So random drug testing, we know, is another really important part of what we do, making sure that our students are not using, because even though you might not find anything at school, they could be using outside of school. This is obviously deterrent. You will find that our students are in the testing pool if they have a parking permits or they are in club sport. And when they do sign up for that, they're in from that point forward. So if they've signed up for something their freshman year, they stay in that pool throughout their high school career. Do want to point out that we look at the number of the students that we test, so 15 per month. And we also have 2 of those students are tested for performance enhancing drugs. It is not anybody it's students that are athletes. It's not if you have only a parking pass or only in a club. So that is tied to like a student athlete that would get PED. So that's usually a question that comes up. So I just wanted to make sure to answer that right away, so you can see the drugs that are tested for.
I would want to add to this one too. I think this rings with me as a former coach as a really, really important reason to get kids connected and get them involved in things, is it puts them into this pool. And it gives kids a reason to say no in the face of peer pressure. They face a lot of peer pressure, but knowing that there's this thing looming sometimes gives a kid an additional reason to say no, especially when they're committed to something they care about.
So I don't know if I ever asked this question before, but let's say you had a kid who was doing volleyball, which is a fall sport, and then they didn't do anything for the rest of the year. They're still tested for that full year?
So once they sign up, so let's say you have someone that goes out for freshman volleyball. Mm-hmm. They've signed the paperwork.
Right.
It is in the paperwork that even if they don't go out the rest of their high school career for anything, they are still in that pool.
Okay.
So
and
once
then what
they're in
happens
the pool,
if they signed up for basketball but weren't? Do they then get added into the pool mid-semester, mid-year?
So usually what ends up happening during registration is during our fees and forms day, and you fill out all the paperwork. Mm-hmm. That part of it, there's the registration paperwork. So that paperwork is usually where the parents will sign up that my student is interested in, and once they say they're interested in, they're put into the process of it, and then obviously things are finalized with your basketball. But let's say you have a kid that says I am interested in, and so they're signing up on the paperwork, because once they say they're interested in something, they're signing off saying that they're going to be in the pool.
So what happens, let's say, for instance, that kid said I'm going to be interested in basketball, tries out for the basketball team and gets cut. then are they still in the pool?
If they sign the agreement form, pay the fee, they're still in.
They're still in it for the
The
year?
entirety of their
Okay,
high school.
all right.
And there's no school-based consequence. The consequence would be a violation of co-curricular.
Okay,
Because you've agreed to a higher standard by putting your name in the pool.
I guess I never even thought about it.
Because
Because my kids are always in
Well, we
everything
want
every
Kids
semester.
to consistently, daily make good choices, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want them playing a game of like, I can make bad choices now because I'm not in season,
I'm quitting on that.
you know.
Right,
We
right.
occasionally do have, like, this is a thing questions come up around, and we have people who try to circumvent a little bit, but I think it comes back to the partnership with the family, and families want their kids making good decisions, so ultimately what it comes down to, and it gives, I always said the parents don't make the calls, it gives you an additional opportunity to have a conversation with your kid, but use me as a lever. You know, like this happened in school, they want to know, like, it gives parents an into a conversation that's hard. It's a very big, unfortunately, the substances are very available today.
And then what, since we said in the last one that the percentages, what did we say, 70% was about?
Yes.
Yep, 70%.
Yeah.
But then parking probably
Yeah.
increases that a
So
little
it's
bit,
probably
80%?
1,200-ish,
1,200.
plus out of 1,600 kids that are in the eligible
Right.
pool to be tested anyway.
Okay,
And so we'll look at numbers from this last year, just so you look at the number of kids that we tested. So if we look at the number of kids tested, we had 150, which is the same every year. Just want to make sure that's clear. We haven't changed those numbers. It's the 150 kids every year that are in the RDT pool that we're testing. So we had 10 positives this year, 7 for nicotine only, 0 for marijuana only, and then we had two that were nicotine and marijuana positive. So that was 9 of the 10. And then anytime you have a refusal, usually there's a reason for refusal, and that refusal that counts as a positive if you refuse. So
Yeah,
With close to or over 1,000 kids possibly tested, is 150 enough?
well, it's a good question. We do, I mean, the data would suggest, just some background, I guess. Pro Health, they do all the testing for the Wisconsin Department of Transportation employees. We often get questions from parents, so it kind of circles back. Sometimes we'll get questions about the validity of what is Pro Health doing. We're pretty darn confident of their process. So even with perhaps a small sample size of 150 students, feel pretty confident that's a pretty good representation. And when we only get 7, 10 positives out of 150, I think you could extrapolate that out. I don't know that we would, if we tested 300 kids a year. And I'm not sure. It's a good question that we talk about a lot. We hope that that's always a deterrent, right? Like if when I sign my name on a dotted line, I know any month I could be tested. And that has to be our hope, right? That kids take that to heart and they know that could happen. So I'm not sure if it matters if it's
Yeah, I guess that's a
150 or
really good
300 or 450, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, because in a kid's mind, does 15% or 30% make a difference in their choice? Probably
Right.
not.
Right.
And for a kid who's really addicted, that struggle's gonna be there either way.
Yeah.
For the kid who's making decisions and on the fence and like hanging out, this gives them a deterrent. I would add to that, because that is a really good question, I mean, ultimately, like, what is enough? It is, we work a little bit of a time crunch if we're gonna do it on a different, if it were to change. I don't know that we could do more than 15 on any one given day, because we have to complete the process before lunch. And we start to get, depending on the students and how frequently they urinate, we start to get into a space where it runs into a time crunch, because not every kid can go on demand. So some of the kids sit and hold. We've had kids that couldn't go for 2 to 3 hours, which then brings in the second point. The more kids we have, the more kids that are gonna be missing class time. So there's aspects of it that get a little complicated, but that is something for us to do for sure. Because I don't think we're unique at Mosquito that this is something our kids are struggling with. And it's something that, how do you continue to make sure that kids, there's reasons not to make these decisions.
Because and I agree with what Mr. Van Wyk is saying about that missing class time. That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
We don't want kids missing class time. And so we are very intentional about looking at their schedules when we pull them. And so we try to make sure that we're not impacting significant academic. And so the more you have, that could be, but you're right, it's, well, I was saying that no, Ms. Prokop, who's not able to join us tonight, has looked into and is looking at other schools, their numbers and percentages as well. She has started looking into like what the numbers that other schools are seeing, and also like not just the number of students they're testing, but also like their, what you'll see on the next slide, Mr. Van Lincoln will talk about is what are their results looking like too, so.
Yeah, I would say with regards to RDT and canine searches, we tend to lead and be in the top portion of the county and what we're doing. The last time I checked, most of the Waukesha County schools were about half, give or take, the number of canine searches, for example. I don't think that's a bad thing to be leading. I think it's a really good thing to be on. It's proactive. A little bit small font, apologize for that. And I think the graph number is there so you can kind of see random drug testing trends. You can see that the trend last year was with 27 positives. You can see it's a pretty big decline. It's a success. I consider that to be a success for students that are in co-curricular and have parking privileges. It's kind of us leveraging it. We did reach out to, you can see, it's a pretty big drop. We did reach out to some other schools to see what they're seeing trends, and it seems to be a pretty mixed bag. Some schools saw increases, some schools saw declines. So I don't know if it's something I would want to hang my hat on and say, hey, this is likely a permanent trend, but it is a positive indication. We did communicate on a number of different pieces home throughout the year about usage too. Children's Hospital had a really nice video we shared home. I think it's pretty impacting. I think we're starting to finally see some of the research on vaping starting to emerge, and I think that's going to be really powerful to get to our families. I just saw a thing I meant to grab it, I have to look for it. It was, you can buy these now. It looks like a key fob, and you pull it out and it holds THC. And like, it never even occurred to me when I'm searching to pull on a kid's keys, and to really like, and that's the space that these companies are putting us in now. And I want to get that kind of information home to families as they're talking with their kids and looking around the rooms, and it's become challenging. So we do have a slight trend line, or it's positive note, but we do know that is not something that we're going to rest on. There's a lot of work to do there.
You just wonder if it has to do with graduation classes, like did this class that was trending upward graduate, and now we're seeing, I mean, you'll have to wait till next year's numbers.
Yep,
But
that'd be
you just-
wonderful if that was.
You wonder.
Yeah, I think there's a randomness aspect to it, so even year to year, you do see some fluctuations within the data set. My hope is that those messages are landing. I think that the early research coming out on vaping is not good. It's going to be anything that's harmful or more harmful than cigarettes. And that wasn't the messaging from, say, 5, 6 years ago. We were hearing. I think this is
so some kind of indirect efforts also. Well, remember, the whole program was put together 12-ish years ago, probably before any of you were even in this role when I was here, as a deterrent, right? Help kids make good choices. When faced with a choice, make good choices. So some of the other things that can happen are, if a student tests positive that has a parking permit, their permit would be revoked for a period of 18 weeks. Kids like to park here, believe it or not, so if they can get that parking permit back sooner, they oftentimes would like to do that. And what we can do is, with their consent, if they consent to automatically be in the next 3 months of the random drug testing pool, so they would be a student in addition to those 15, and they test positive all 3 months, they'll get their permit back in 9 weeks. And we actually give them a good faith effort too. Sometimes that 9-week period appears before they're even in that 3rd month of testing. We'll give them the parking permit back, good faith effort. Like, the value there is, you just voluntarily subjected yourself to 3 more random drug tests. Like, this is good for you as a student, good for you as a family to be able to do that.
I do want to add to that too, and this kind of piggybacks to what Bob said a minute ago, asking about what's the right number. There were months where we were testing 22 and 23 kids because of things like this, where they were carryovers. So at times the capacity of the testing was higher than even just the 15 already.
We would start at 7:25 and sometimes that finished till 10:30. Just solid with 22 kids.
Unless I'm looking at it right, that math doesn't, you have to give them their parking permit back
before their last test, right? Otherwise, you're at 12 weeks and not 9.
Yeah, right. I don't know, you're right, I don't know if it's possible unless maybe the third test would fall like right away in the first couple days of that
But there,
third month.
and there are times, the testing is, this is kind of getting a little bit into the weeds, but if a student tests positive for, let's say, on the 27th of a month and they tested positive for marijuana, we put them into the pool, but they're probably gonna test positive if the next test is only 8 days later. Because THC stays in your system because it's fat soluble. So there's weird overlaps that kind of get a little kinky with this. But I think to Ken's point, it's a good faith effort for us to encourage the kid to give up marijuana and then hopefully see the negative result moving forward.
Because even if the student tested positive during the third month, let's say they were negative, they would then go back to 18 weeks. So there's still a consequence on one.
And just to keep moving that last section, if a student has a violation of having a vape possession, for instance, nothing to do with random drug testing, when we have a behavior meeting with that family, we do offer the parents and say, hey, if you would like to, the parent has to sign off, you could put your student in the random drug testing pool voluntarily for the next 2 or 3 months, whatever the parent would agree to. So that adds a few kids each month also.
And the kits are about $10 a piece, or
I'm sorry,
what's the cost on them?
no cost.
We don't
No,
charge,
like
but if
for
you
us.
purchased as a parent, oh, what do we pay per
10.
test?
Yeah, 10, right?
Yeah, right.
And the why behind that is, it is incredibly common when a student is caught, that the student's response is, I just tried it for the first time this weekend, I don't use this. It was a friend's, so it kind of gives the family a little bit more information to try to make sure they have accurate information. Because if it really was just a one time, I just tried it, they have a chance to prove it to themselves. And they always educate the families as well. Yeah, it's $10 for us, but you can go on Amazon and get a 30-pack of testing at home kits for $20. So they're also encouraged.
I would say more of our families take that road rather than keep us in the loop. I think that a lot of families want to take care of it themselves and kind of keep the school out of it going forward. But it opens an opportunity for families that maybe need it. And I think it creates a great lane for education too. Very frequently, it was my first time or it was not mine. It's like I think those were the number 2 and 1 responses. Number of other efforts that we work toward each year. We kind of tweak as we go, as Ryan likes to say, keep trying to get better and find different ways to do these. Something Ryan and I took on this year, he was really gracious. He gave some time to all of his coaches to start the year, to do a call to action with his coaches, to make it a point of emphasis to help them leverage that platform they have with their kids. I think it's something we're going to work on. We're going to continue to spin the message in a stronger manner. Ryan does a lot with the leadership group around peer pressure and overcoming peer pressure and how to have the right tools to combat that, because I think that's a big part of it is you have kids that want to fit in, and we all want to fit in, and I think that aspect of it is important. The kids are armed with the right tools. Created educational opportunities for families, including messages and resources in the parent newsletter. Mentioned that video earlier. I have, if I can't find the exact video that I was watching the other day, my jaw dropped at my brother's house in Ohio. I'm going to find some pictures and I'm going to create a slideshow of it. It was some really, really new agey stuff that the kids were able to get their hands on because of the internet. Kind of scary. And I'm kind of in the know. Like I'm kind of searching and a part of that often, and it still dropped my jaw, the technology. Health teachers included risks associated with vaping within the curriculum and continue to make that point of emphasis in their teaching. The nicotine is included in the random drug testing panel so that is being tested for. The D2 program, Through Your Choice to Live, are offered as an alternative days to suspension when we're able to do that and leverage that. The administration uses metal detectors, metal detecting wands as a more effective, efficient, less invasive search tool. That's been kind of a game changer versus every student that needs to be searched, being searched by hand. It's a lot less, I would say, triggering for kids to go through that way. It turns out a lot of the kids are real willing to try to hide things when they know there's a metal detector, usually just hand it over because it's coming. And then we have continued, and I think we've probably been doing this 7 or 8 years now, random breathalyzing at school dances, as a way to encourage kids to come to and be safe and make good choices.
Do you still have the vapor scene stuff in the bathrooms and stuff?
Yeah. actually putting in another bag picture as well.
And one thing to add to what we talk about, we start talking about dealing with our students or leading our students, we push hard on our peer pressure resistance strategies over the last 2 school years and teaching those 9 different strategies. And the one that this program always brings up is we give every single student in our system make an excuse is one of the deals. We give them the excuse by having this program in our system, and we cover it every school year about, what is the #1 excuse if you're engaged in our co-curriculars or have a parking pass on why you can't use it, right? Random drug testing, bingo. And everybody knows it, and they can use it at any time to help them get out of the situation when peer pressure is getting dialed up. So thank you for that too.
I think that the platform of our students, whether it's the great soccer kids, baseball kids, whether it's Kira, who's the robotics young lady who won the national recognition, those kids that are connected and they're in leadership roles and the roles that kids emulate towards when they're making great decisions because they have reasons to make great decisions, it's hard for the other kids not to want to be like that person who's setting a good example. So I think that's a big aspect of that platform too. Any other questions?
Yep. So, do you know what the distribution is among class, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior?
So I don't have the exact
For
numbers.
the positive test.
Yeah, I don't have that. We can get that though for sure. It wasn't on.
That's something that I usually ask you guys
We get that
at each update, if you can include that, because, and this is more systemic to if it's underclassmen, whether or not we want to look at, to Ryan's point, with the peer pressure messaging, and starting that in 7th, 8th grade, because a lot of this stuff starts in 7th, 8th grade before it even gets here.
Without having the hard data, I can tell you anecdotally, we struggle with our freshmen walking in the door.
And that's where I kind of figured
We
it
were
was going to be.
just coincidentally today, we were pulling some behavior data to look at, kind of planning the next year. 8 out of our top 10 most frequent visitors are freshmen and 1 sophomore. And I would say all of them have usage issues already. And they're very young, and I would say very addicted to nicotine. And it becomes a constant battle with school then, because you don't have the freedom to do what you want.
Right.
So it shows that the behavior shows up in other ways, right? It shows up in like oppositional behavior, but really it's an addiction issue. As a 14-year-old, to your point.
Right.
It's scary.
Because, and the biggest challenge I would see is they're already fighting the battle coming in, when some of that can be addressed early on. We have a DARE program that ends at 5th grade, and it seems like we do nothing between there and high school. And that seems like a gap that we need to close.
Especially with health being in a rotation that not every student gets in middle school. There's a percentage of our population that doesn't get that. And same kind of concept, the ability to have students who are in clubs and activities in middle school. Those coaches are also a part of the coaching sessions. He's talking about the call to action, but not every kid is connected in this.
Right.
So.
Right. And that maybe that's something else to look at is what's the involvement rate in middle school for 7th and 8th graders? Like, is it only 50%? Is it less? Is it more? And if there are students you're not reaching, then finding other ways to reach them and let them know, so that they're not finding it, on freshman orientation, that this is going to be happening, and they're already kind of behind the curve. So.
Has there ever been, Ryan, discussion with your ADs from the middle schools and the principals about doing potential drug testing in middle school?
Not explicitly, but I believe they would welcome the opportunity. Obviously, with the funding and systematically, they can make it work within the school day. I think it would be great for them. They would not shy away from it, knowing some of the hard conversations they have to have with students that might get into some, like with our PE or something outside the school day, that their heartstrings get pulled on. If they would have known, they would have done more, right? And I think that Andy talked about the call to action with the coaching advisors. That was one of their big asks, like, can you help us know who and how and when, so we can go help teach and preach and grow and do those things. So absolutely, I think we're all on board.
It'd be interesting to survey the middle school parents to see if they would be for it. Because you'd have to have a buy-in of the parents to have them. be tested.
Yeah, I think, well, sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, it's all, it is a politically contentious conversation.
Yeah,
That's really my
I don't know
question,
where
is
they
how
would
many
sit on
districts
that.
around us have that. I know several were talking about it and then it got blown up because of the lack of parent support. So we could talk about our approach to that because, again, it's this fine line of we have the ability to do so as a school system because co-curriculars are an opt-in. So you can create additional expectations like this if we felt it was the right thing to do from a wellness standpoint.
I mean, you see the positives of it with, you know, how you say you tell your son he has to be in 2 different activities because the grades will go up and, you know, I'm sure you'd have the same effect in the middle school.
And I think the challenge is how addictive the substances that are available today are to the adolescent mind. And I think
Well, the thing that's frustrating to me is
So-
they're supposed to be 21 to get it.
Yes.
How are they, you know what I mean? That's a whole nother sideline.
scary side.
But it's like they're not even supposed to be able to have the access to them.
A 13 or 14-year-old will always want to impress a 15 or 16-year-old. And that nexus point, that transition from 7th to 8th, 9th grade is like so pivotal for kids to not start forming addiction. Because that's when you figure out who you are, right? I mean, that's when you figure out really how you figure out who you are as a human. And to already be developing addiction cycle, starting to struggle in school, maybe losing your co-curricular, you're just setting a spiral up where you see kids really struggle. Because I do watch, and I'm sure you guys, I think the group of kids that the freshmen that we're struggling with, they really are struggling too. And they don't even know where to begin to start or to stop. Sorry.
I say tap into the pediatricians because they can give patches and do all sorts of stuff to help those kids. Seriously.
What is the, or when are co-curriculars typically for those middle school kids? Are they after school? So I think that's another huge problem is kids in high school, I think, either have older friends or they can bike, parents feel more comfortable, but it's really hard when you don't have a means of getting your child if they're gonna stay after and participate in an activity. You work. So a lot of it might be limited by parents, and the kids that are in the activities may not be the ones that are the problem.
It's usually during lunch hour.
Also, I just asked, they said, I'm sure it varies. I'm just saying, it's really hard when the transportation is an issue.
Right, for sure.
To be active.
Good. Thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys. The final component of the superintendent's report is just a contributions to the profession. Wanted to give a shout out to our Muskego Lakes team. Recently we had Rachel Rajeski along with Cassidy Vogler, Brittany Hendricks, and Ali Tomei present at the Summer OSAW Conference up in Green Bay. They were sharing some of the work on cultivating a high expectation culture and the strength of their PLCs and just the impact when you have a group of educators who truly believe in kids, the impact on a culture of high expectations. Because when the teachers believe in it, the students feed off of that and respond and believe that they can do more. So it just fills my heart with pride when our staff is out there sharing the success that we're having because of their hard work and trying to help impact other private or public schools as well. So shout out to the Muskego Lakes team. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Moving on to other reports, there is no president's report. Board member reports. Let's start this side.
I emailed everybody the CISA stuff. I'm doing it to the executive board. Is there anybody, like, should I go further into principals and stuff like that? Or how do you want that information distributed?
Just fine the way it was. I like
That's fine? Okay. And if you think there's something that would be beneficial to principals or system, you know, like I would forward it. Okay. All right. And we have, I don't know, I'm so confused because they've switched the date that we're meeting to either the second Tuesday of the month or the third Tuesday of the month, but I think we don't have anything in July, so it would be the second Tuesday of the month of August that we meet again.
Sounds good, thank you.
Just personal point of privilege, when we talk about how wonderful our community is and how blessed we are, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for your heartfelt support and prayers for the unexpected death of my brother. So I really appreciate it. It meant a lot. The flowers are beautiful. for both the school board and from the administration, so we got two of them. That's nice.
Jason?
Nothing?
I don't have anything, Chris? Nope. Okay. Moving on.
Kevin?
Kevin?
Oh, Kevin,
Hey,
sorry.
you still there, buddy?
I am still here.
You have any updates?
Not, and thank you.
That was it?
Good. Committee reports, Educational Services Committee report? None. Policy Committee report is in there. We reviewed a few of the policies that we move forward to the board for next time. And then reviewed a draft, and we pushed that one off until next time for further review, for the next Policy Committee meeting for further review. So, Business Services Committee?
We talked a little bit about the preliminary budget. There wasn't much to update on Act 10. Had a lengthy, fun conversation about tennis court project. We did recommend that Jeremiah continue forward with his information finding, so that we have something more to look at and understand. And then WSB honor roll nominees, we finalized those and they'll be submitted. One other quick note is because I will not be here next, for the next board meeting and the next committee meeting, we'll still have to have that, but I'll be talking with you two about running that while I'm out.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
cool.
Any questions?
And honoring that, going at a school board meeting or something, the businesses.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, moving on to 8A, which is resolution action items, WASB contract.
Motion to approve the WSB contract as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Is that you?
Sure.
Okay.
There wasn't anybody else, so.
Okay.
Discussion.
I'm just curious, and I'm sorry if I missed it, but did we reach out to WASB and talk to them about our concerns and get any response or any, I'm not, like, obviously no promises, but just responses about how they were gonna handle, or, I mean, obviously they've gotten these same questions from other school boards, so.
I did, one of the people that are on the CISA board, Larry Dukes, is on the WASB committee, and he did send me a pretty lengthy email about the benefits of being on, in WASB and stuff. I don't know if you want me to forward it to you,
I would
or?
appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, we did
I
get
mean, I
a
can read
breakdown
it, but it's kind of long.
of some of the things that we're getting discounts for. And then Terry, I think I mentioned the utilization, but we get more doc discounts for licensing on that, a couple other things. I think your question is more to if they can address our concerns
Yeah,
and how they handle lobbying efforts and other things.
And just in general, how they just seem to lean one way more so than the other.
Yeah.
I don't find them to be terribly neutral.
And I think, if I remember right, you were saying that, or Terry was talking with you about how directors and other members get a second vote.
Well, I was gonna mention that to Terry. So the reason why CISA 1 has a vote is because CISA 1 actually has a school.
Oh, okay.
Because they actually have students that they take, it's 250 students outside, you know, all through CISA 1. There are students that didn't quite make it in the high school setting, and this is like an alternative learning environment for them. So for them, they actually have like a budget for their school, and so that's why they get a vote at the table.
So if I remember that when we chatted about this at the Business Services Committee, one of the thoughts that we had is, given, if you look at it just from the financial point of view, it's at least a wash, if not advantageous for us. But that's not really where the concern lies, right? The concern lies in the lobbying that's done that we don't support, right? And do we need to say, hey, we don't have an alternative quite yet, right? Whether it be using our own attorney or a plan, maybe not alternative, but a plan. So do we do one more year with the full intention of we need to have a discussion with the leadership of WASB saying, hey, listen, we're gonna do this for a year, but you're kind of on the clock from a standpoint of how are you gonna represent all of our viewpoints?
Yep.
That's where I thought we left it off, in that it's not a wholehearted endorsement for more than a year. It's a year to get us through so that we can have further discussion with their leadership about what our concerns are. But to Lori's point, have we started those yet? Is that a Terry thing? Okay.
Well, 'cause
Yeah,
I guess I'm.
and eventually business services, we would maybe have them come in as
Well,
a.
Terry made a very valid point in her behalf. She contacts the WASB attorneys consistently, and that's a free service that we use because it's part of our invoice. Could it be a wash with the lawyers? Yes, but she also brought up a very good point. If we want to make changes to the group as well, we need a voice at the table.
Yeah, we do.
And if we don't have that voice, what do we do? It is funny though, because we had this discussion last time. It sounds like more Waukesha school districts are leaving WASB. I mean, I just got a text from a friend of mine that's part of Mugwanago. He said they left, all the Waukesha schools left, Germantown left, and Menominee Falls left. And New Orleans on the cusp. So
So the question would be, what did they replace it with?
well, that's what I asked him, and he said 1848 will. And I'm like, well, they don't really provide a lot that we're looking for in that regard, from my research. Being on WASB right now, going through all the trainings because I'm the new guy here, it's been very valuable information. So, I mean, that's coming from me.
Well, and I'll always, I don't know if you guys ever do this, but go on to the Capitol chat and listen to that at noon, at lunch. I'll listen just to see what legislation is out there and what's coming currently and stuff like that. That's neutral stuff. They're non-biasedly telling you this is what's on the docket for, the legislator. So I don't know, I personally find them helpful.
Yeah. My concern is they get our money and then they're like, we got them for another year. Whereas if you leave, it's like, that is a statement. And I find that, even when they have their motions, it doesn't seem like our input ever. And I know you say you gotta be at the table to do it, but sometimes you also have to take the hard pass and say, hey, you're not gonna get anybody's attention until you knock them over the head with a 2x4. So I just am very doubtful that they're gonna change their ways.
I agree with you, Lori.
To your point, I think this was a one-year continuation with the understanding that we reevaluate between now and when it comes up for renewal next year. There also has to be something that replaces it. We can't just cut it and say we're gonna make do with everything else because of the potential for the financial
Cost of
impact.
board docs and stuff.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be then an effort to let them know. That, to say, hey, here's far in advance, here's what our concerns are. You've already lost a half a dozen school districts within Waukesha County. What's the plan? And if they don't have a plan, then we need to have a plan.
Can the
Right.
contract come with an addendum that they need to come out and talk with us and at least take the time to dialogue?
Well, I think we can ask them at any time.
Well, you can ask people, but they don't have to do anything, but if it's in a
But I
contract,
think
they
they do
do.
want to. I mean, even Larry in my email said he would come and talk to us if we wanted to. He's in the Pewaukee district, and they are signing on again.
Yeah, but is he a board member?
Well,
Yes,
so,
yes.
yeah, I think the point would be the people that have the decision making, right? That are, will the right people come out and talk to us, even if they don't find us to be aligned with them, right? Are they willing to sit at the table and have that discussion, right, is what I think you're saying, Lori, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, unless you've got something contractual, I have my doubts that those conversations will happen. And I think they need to happen because I think they're positive, because when you always agree, you never get better.
Julie, what's your thought on that from a contract standpoint? Is it possible?
I don't know if they would necessarily consider it. but we could ask.
Yeah, we can reach out and
Definitely
ask
ask.
and say our renewal is contingent upon this. It's not a contract, but it would be an email, written communication saying this is our hope and expectation that you will come to the table with some people who can make decisions and hear out our concerns and give you X amount of time to come up with an action plan and how you can help build our trust that you're representative of a more balanced approach to things.
Can I ask a question? So what happens if we sign this contract, let's say we give them 6 months, and they still won't meet with us, can we void the contract and get reimbursed for whatever we paid into it, or is it we lost that money?
I'd have to look specifically at the contract language. I
would
mean, there's
doubt
really not a
very high-
contract, I mean, it's just like a membership, right? So
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
would say, we
Yeah,
signed it
cancel.
one, that's our, we have it until
You could
the end of time.
Any other kind of membership you can cancel, mid-membership too, like you can cancel any membership you have. So I mean, I wouldn't see why there's probably some clause in the contract that lets you, back out if you have due cause.
Yeah, not all contracts. I mean, not all memberships.
Doing this, Lori, that we give them this time, and then they're gonna be like, oh, we got them for another year, and they're gonna have no motivation, or no first step to try to, negotiate with us or talk to us and help us understand their thought process. And then we're like, okay, and we go back to the table in a year from now, and all the same topics come up, and like, well, we gave them another year, nothing happened,
So I think the issue with not renewing it right now is that we don't have another plan.
No.
Right? We don't have.
No.
We don't have.
We're starting this ball rolling way too late.
Yeah, we need to get ahead of it now for next year's renewal, so that we have plenty of time to have the discussion to say what are our alternatives, right? Whether it's Will, whether it's somebody else, do they start to have a membership type arrangement where we get legal services and things like that? So that's my only concern with where we are today relative to the membership. When does it renew?
I believe the end of this month, July 30th.
Yeah, we needed to have it before the board for approval this meeting. or
This
else
month,
it's gonna
okay.
expire.
So if we don't renew, any conversations with Bob Butler comes with a charge, or it just isn't accessible at all after July, end of July?
Well, and any additional things that we do to keep current within this field is gonna be coming at a cost. Because I will continue to stay current within the school board stuff, and they have the most amount of information to stay current, like to go to the conference and stuff. And I know non-membership fees are higher than membership fees. So there's gonna be additional costs.
This is probably the most discussions we've ever had on WASB renewal, right? Membership, which is.
Aside from the committee meeting.
No, I'm talking about in years past.
Oh, yeah.
Right, like in
Yeah.
years past, which should be an indicator to them, right? Hopefully, like, hey, we're moving, I'm not making the assumption we're moving forward, but we're moving forward, but there comes some trepidation here and a lot of board discussion, and this renewal is up for debate for next year, kind of thing. I don't know, that's kind of where I'm only one, that's where I'm at, only because we don't have a plan right now for how we handle the rest of it for the rest of the year. But if it doesn't, if we're sitting at this table again next year and there's been no information and no plan, then I don't know how we can, in good faith, renew it.
Well, I think we have to have a plan of how we're gonna do the research and what we're gonna do, because I think we've talked about it, but there's been no movement to look for other alternatives, and so it's sort of like, well, if you're not looking for alternatives, you can't find them.
It's also incumbent on the people that want to change it to come to the table with some stuff too, though. To be honest.
I agree.
Like, you know, it's great to say we shouldn't do it, but to not have an alternative just means that you're pointing out a problem and not willing to come up with a solution.
I don't know what people, I know you guys all say what you're using it for. I don't use it, so I use other sources.
Right.
Well, it's not that I don't use other sources, because I belong to Will and I belong to other things. It's just that I feel they have a lot of good online information about school board stuff in general that I think is very beneficial. And to go to the conference once a year and hear all of the different things that are coming up the pike about AI for schools and security for schools and for all, it's beneficial for me to know that stuff. So that's why I think this is an organization, I agree 100% that they are not always aligned with what we believe in. I 100% believe in that, but I still see beyond that and see the other benefits that they offer, and that's why I would stand to renew. But that's me.
I like your approach, Bob. I mean, we can renew the contract, but they're on notice moving forward. You know, if really no information comes by and they don't really want to talk to us, then we find alternative sources moving forward.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't have somebody within their building that is in their marketing or that is like, I don't want to lose this account, that would come to our meeting and talk about why. When I reached out to Larry, who I think he's Region 7, I want to ask Brett, because Brett knows everything about WASB, but I know he's a Region something, 7 director, or
15.
15, okay. So he's very connected to it, and that's why he sent me that, when I reached out to him, I said, hey, our board is considering not renewing. He sent me a whole email about, here's all the positive things about, what WASB has to offer. So
Yeah.
I would think that they would, even he would be willing to come and talk. Because we don't have anybody in our region right now because Brett is gone. And that's why we got the letter in the mail, that if you want to be interested in running for that position, sign on.
Okay. Any more discussion? No more discussion? Okay, just want to make sure before we take a vote. Okay, so do you want me to take a roll call vote? What's everybody like? Or just to take a general aye vote? Is there a process here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to do what is best for the school board.
Yeah.
I just have my reservations.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so then I don't necessarily need a roll call vote. I'll just, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. We will move forward and then we'll chat with.
I have some action items that I'll
Okay.
start
Awesome.
working on.
Okay, sounds good. Discussion items. Anything for tonight, or is it just a discussion that
The preliminary budget information, which was discussed at the committee
Yeah.
information, so it's the same information.
Same info, okay.
It's the same people.
All right. Any questions for Julie? No. Okay. Information follow-up. And we need to vote for a closed session. We will reconvene to open session only to adjourn. There won't be any further business discussed after that. So can I get, actually we need to read it, right, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read it?
Terry typically does.
Oh, she does?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I can read it. I didn't, All right, so vote for closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85 1D, except as provided in 304.06. She goes through all of this? And by rule promulgated under 304.06, considering specific applications of probation, extended supervision, or parole, or considering strategy for criminal detection or prevention, specifically district safety measures in Wisconsin Statute 19.85, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically superintendent evaluation. This one, we will take a roll call vote.
I need a motion first.
I need a motion first.
I so moved
Second.
what you said.
Yes, okay.
Just adding the sub ones to them, sub one and sub C.
Okay. Tracy?
Aye.
Yes.
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 Okay.
And Kevin.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we will go into closed session only to open back up to adjourn.